Good morning. We are starting the day off right. We got beautiful skies. The clouds look like they're moving out. Last night we got a little bit of rain, but I didn't get wet. It was really nice, actually. Um, Dropped down into the 40s, but I didn't get cold. In fact, I actually got hot. I took this off last night, and this is a Alpha 90 fleece, and it was almost too much. So, but we did wake up in a little bit of a crisis this morning. I can't find any of my coffee. I drank 1 cup of coffee this morning, but as I went through, because I thought I had more, no coffee. I think we'll make it. I got a couple days. This morning we are filtering a little bit of water, but I have just a little bit of time before we start packing up. I want to make sure my tarp is dry. Today we have about a little around 9.3 miles, so I figure I'll end up with about 10. I'm pretty excited about what I see this morning with the blue skies in the background, and there's a ton of aspen trees in this area, so I'm excited about that. I love the aspen trees. We have a little bit of a climb. I think we have 1,600 feet of elevation gain. Slept good last night. The tarp's not really wet, and I didn't have any problems with mosquitoes. So again, the tarp has worked out really well. Again, the main pest is flies, and about dark they left. So other than that, I'm just ready to get the day started. I'm going to do a slow start this morning. I'm not in a hurry. My breakfast is made. I just got to eat it, and we'll get this day started here in a little bit. One last look at the campground. Make sure I didn't leave anything. And then I also always do this. I do one last look in my pockets. So I'm notorious for putting stuff in my pockets, and then I end up having to take my pack off and put stuff back in. So we're gonna head out this morning. It is, let me check what time it is. It is 7 o'clock, or 5 till 7. So I did pretty good this morning. Normally I'm out of here 6:30 or 6. So I tried to get a slow start this morning, but looks like we got blue skies. Sometimes things just don't make sense. You got raccoon tracks, and it looks like a crane drinking out of this dirty water when they could go right down there and get water out of the Little Rio Grande. I think Cha-Cha must have prayed that I don't see a bear, because I've been looking and looking and looking. I look up, and then I look down, up and down, up and down. Multiple bear sightings by people on the Santa Fe to Taos Trail. I just want to see one. I don't really want to have a huge blow up encounter, but somebody say a prayer that I see a bear, not that I encounter a bear. Hopefully we can get something on film. All right, I'm gonna show you something. So we got all these aspens, and when you're walking along the road, you end up seeing all of these green leaves. Okay, well, why would green leaves be falling? And I'm gonna show you why. So what's happening is that you'll notice that a lot of them are rolled up, because inside this, those little pesky cute caterpillars that eat up the aspen trees are rolling themselves up in the leaves, and then the leaves eventually will fall off on the ground. Now, why do they fall on the ground? If somebody can answer me that, I'd appreciate it, because a lot of times where the road is covered in leaves, you get all of these little leaves on the ground. I'd like to know why they fall on the ground, and I'm sure that's just part of their life cycle process. All right, here's where we're gonna leave the little Rio Grande, and we're gonna start climbing up. This is 439A. And on the map, this little road or trail or whatever you want to call it is also called the Palo Ciento. It's a climb. Not much on unmaintained roads. This one's pretty decent, but this section's pretty rocky. All right, we just made the majority of the climb out of that little canyon. Got a little bit more to climb up, and then we're gonna be dropping into Diablo Canyon. All right, we're at 10,429. We've got about half of our climb out of the way. I think we did 860 some feet of elevation gain. And now we were on a flat plain, and now we're going downhill. And when you go downhill,
distance 1.0.
All right. But I can make some mileage on this. Fat man can't make a lot of mileage on an uphill, but I can make it on a downhill. So put the camera away, start walking. All right, we came to a little intersection. We're not gonna go right. I believe we're gonna go left, so walk a few feet and check my maps again. Well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is that I've lost some weight. The bad news is my pack isn't fitting me like it's supposed to, and not riding on my hips like I want it to. Look at all these fat man problems, but I gonna have to do some adjusting, and hopefully I'll be okay on the way back. But I started noticing that I was starting to feel stuff in my shoulders, and that's not a good sign. I want it to ride on my hips. It makes everything feel lighter. The other good news is I've been walking a little over half a mile on this flat surface on the top of a mountain, so that's gonna be a nice change. Starting to get views of Diablo Canyon. We're gonna go down here, and then I think we start making our way down into the canyon. And I believe this is the canyon I'm staying in today, so. All right, let the downhill begin. And we're gonna drop down into an area called Diablo Canyon. And there's a little campsite down here in an area called Maestas Park. So all right, just came down from that way. Somebody's put up a cairn, so that's nice. And the road keeps going, but this is the end of section 5.3, start of 5.5, and there's some blue cordage out there, or blue tape, that tells us this is the way we need to go. And I know that several people have missed this, and you would think you would just keep following the road, but we're gonna go down here. This is why you need to keep your navigation on and keep checking your spots. Also, for reference, that turnoff was 3.45 miles from where I stayed, and probably 4 miles from where that marker is to get water on the Little Rio Grande. We'll see how long these blue cords stay up. This is also the area that she had marked for, what do you say, for camping. And which means, and I don't think I've seen anything, but that means that you probably have to haul water to here as well. All right, came up on another little intersection. I went ahead and put a little cairn that points in the direction that you need to go. Excuse me. Then I noticed this, so somebody had the same idea.
So the water spot where she says it's seeping is actually doing pretty good. So quite a bit of water. Such a beautiful area. It is sprinkling on me just a little bit, but not enough to motivate me to get my rain jacket out. Plus, I'm almost 5 miles in, which means I'm halfway done. So, loving today. This is Diablo Canyon. Got some more sign. Let's keep our head on a swivel. Well, I'm laughing at myself because it started sprinkling and I was like, no, I'm not gonna put my rain jacket on. It's just gonna stop here in a second. The wind picked up. I started getting more wet. Stopped, took my pack off. Got everything put back on. And now I'm wearing a rain jacket and it's not raining. So I should have known. I don't know. I'll leave it on for a little bit. And man, what a blessing for the rain though. We are walking down this corridor and I'm getting close to the end. And on the maps it says there's cell service. So in a minute I'm gonna try to call Cha-Cha and see if she can hear me. I did call her yesterday. There's a section in the burn area. So if you get the maps from Pam, there are about 4 or 5 locations where it says cell service, and one of them was on the wall, and so I got to talk to her then, and then I got to talk to her yesterday. I was walking through so fast through this area just now that I missed one of the locations, but I know one of them is down here towards this road. I think Forest Road 440. So we'll see if we can get a hold of her, make a little contact, make her happy, make me happy. But beautiful day. Totally enjoyed everything so far. All right, let's give you a little lesson. So this little guy has to be, gosh, 40 some odd years old. And the whole area in this, I've seen 2 or 3 of those. They could be old Coors or Bud Light, Budweiser cans, but I'd like to, maybe I'll, right in here I'll put when they stopped using those tabs, just for a fun fact. Every once in a while you'll see them. I think I've seen 2 today. normally you see the new ones, but the old ones like that, you had to take them completely off. So kind of a waste, but it does have a date to it. So enjoy that fun fact. And the sun is out. I'm still wearing my rain jacket, but it's just because I'm too lazy to take my pack off and put it back in there. So that was one of the water sites, and it looks like a lot of people have stayed at this little campsite. This is right before the road. All right, when you come down, there's going to be an obstacle that you have to come around and make your way over here, and we're going to go down to the road. If you're going Taos to Santa Fe, it's going to come up on this, but it's not a dead end. All right, here's your Rito de la Olla. Nice little bridge. And if you don't want to climb up that little hill to get to the road, there's a little pathway that goes to the left. So it has been pretty high up on a ledge to get down to the water. But right here is a little area that somebody could set a tent and have access to the water right there. I'm going to the next water source and checking it out. Of course, the water source in general is the river, but on the map, it's got one up here, so I'm gonna go check it out. I haven't stopped for lunch yet, but I'm feeling good, so I'm gonna keep going. And this is one of the problems that I have with this water source, is that the beavers are damming it up. And correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure you can get giardia from drinking water that beavers are in. So that's why I'm going up here. If I'm wrong, leave it in the comments, but I'm gonna go up here and try to get water that feeds into this creek. So I think there's 2 spots that I can look at. That's a little clearer. And it's also up from the beavers, but are there beavers up farther? All right, here's one of her water source marks, and that's basically just the little river. So maybe because you can get down the bank really easy, I'm gonna go up just a little bit farther and check out the other one. This is a beautiful little area. Another pretty little spot. This is close enough to where she had marked, and I think this is where I'm gonna have lunch. It's noon, and I've done almost 10 miles. It's another mile up to my camp. So I pretty much would have 11 miles if I went up there for the day. Did 1,492 feet of ascent, but I did 1,746 in descent. And I'm gonna sit here a while, think about what I want to do. Do I just want to attack that mile in the morning, and just rest here all day long? Because right now it's a perfect place. I think I might have a little place that I can put my tarp up and just have a relaxing day, kind of like a 0 day, but not a 0 day. I got a lot of it done today, early, so today was pretty easy, with the majority of it being downhill. I am maybe less than a half a mile from the turn where you go up to the lake. I really have no desire to go up to the lake. I can't imagine that it's that nice. Not around here. I'd rather just have this flowing water than that stagnant lake water. So, and I'd have to climb up to get it. So, make a decision here in a minute. I probably would have 200 feet of ascent more if I went up, and then there's no guarantee that location is any better than this. So, dilemmas at 12 noon. So, and I don't want to go further. I want today to be more of a rest day, because tomorrow is going to be a big day for me anyway. So, I think this is worthy of showing you my lunch. I've really been struggling with lunches, but I did this pasta, beans with tuna, Mediterranean style, and I have some Ritz crackers. So let me try to not mess this up, but I packed in some cheese, and dang, that actually looks good. So I think I did a good job. I'm gonna put some Ritz crackers on the top of it. I know I don't normally show you what I'm eating for lunch, but I think that's looks like a pretty good meal. I'll let you know. Okay, this is good. So I'm gonna show you again. I didn't add anything extra, no mayonnaise, no nothing. All I did is just add the Ritz crackers. Another little trick is to wrap your tortilla in a napkin or in a paper towel, and it keeps your tortillas from sticking, and it also keeps them moist. So I'm gonna finish this, so you guys go away. Well, it started raining, and I was taking a nap, so I started hearing thunder. It's only about 2:40. I've got about 10 miles, a little over 10 miles done, 1,500 feet of ascent and about 1,800 feet of descent. I just decided to set up my tarp and pull out my mattress and just stay here. So, early day, and I probably need it. I'm gonna try to take another nap, and Then if the sun comes out, I'll just do that. If not, I'm just gonna stay here all day. I have not seen, excuse me, I've not seen a single person doing the Santa Fe to Taos Trail. Evidently there was somebody in front of me, but I've been laying here all afternoon. No one's came by. Probably people start at different times, and that's just the way it is. But that's where I stand right now at 2:40 in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure this rainstorm will be short. And if I decide to move, I'll move. But right now, it's just no need. I got everything laid out, so I'll see you in a little bit. You're never gonna guess what happened. The sun came out, and it's beautiful out, and I couldn't stand just sitting there underneath this tent with the sun out. So I just got a little bit to clean up. We're gonna head up that hill, and we're gonna hike about, I don't know, at least a mile and a half. See where we get to. All right, time for some New Mexico blue. I know that right up here is where the turnoff for the lake is. We're gonna go past that and then see what it's like. This was not a dedicated campsite, so hopefully I didn't make a mistake. But right there by those 3 pines is where I was at. All right, that is the turn off to go up to the lake, which I'm not interested. We're gonna go here to the right. Very pretty area with the aspens. And right here's a legit spot. You just have to go down to get your water. So if you don't want to go all the way up the lake, you could go right there. Here's the beaver pond. Got a duck out there. I don't see anything else moving, but if I do, I'll stop and record it. And this is looking back where I came from. Very pretty. Got a pretty constant flow of water, and coming out of that drain pipe right there, if you listen, you can hear water. Yeah, you could get water out of this. There's water coming from up top and down here on the left-hand side. Here's my area. This is what I picked out. I'm gonna search around a little bit. Right up there, I think that I might be able to find something. But I'm gonna walk down this road just a little bit more and see what's down here before I make my decision. Well, what an eventful day. Good day. I just got done making a video for you guys that'll be at the end of this series, and it was a gear loadout video of all the stuff that I brought on the Santa Fe to Taos Trail. I'd appreciate it if you would watch that video. I knew there'd be somebody out there that would want to know what I took.
I apologize in advance. I'm not a gear guy. I love gear, but I don't really talk about it. So just a minute ago, this whole thing was just, everything was thrown all over the place. So today, I had a good day, a quick day, and today when I started out, I only had 10 miles to do, and I got those 10 miles done really quick, and at noon I was sitting there with nothing to do, and so I had added an extra day to this Santa Fe to Taos because I was just going too hard, and I wasn't enjoying it, so I wanted to slow down. It started to rain, so I put up my tarp and laid out everything, and I'd made a decision that I was going to just stay there. And after laying there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, the sun came out and it stopped raining, and I just got bored. So I hiked up here to this beautiful area about 1.5 miles from where I was at, and we set up camp here on this, I don't know what you want to call it, little ridge in a pasture, and I think it's going to be a great place to watch the sunrise in the morning. So the sun will come up over there, and that's one of my favorite things to do. So today I ended up with about 11 miles, 11 and a half. Knocked off some miles for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have about 14 and a half miles. So I'll probably ended up with about 15. But I'm going to climb up, and then I think I start climbing down. I only have 2 days left on this trip. So I have tomorrow's my big day for this section. And then I have an 11-mile day going into Taos, where I'll meet Cha-Cha. She's going to come pick me up, and we're going to go to Black Mesa Brewery and have pizza and beer. I'm excited to see her, and you know, just complete this task that I've been doing here. I've enjoyed it since I slowed down, and I think, you know, that's the key. Everybody wants to get done early. There have been some people who did 4 days, 6 days, 8 days, but for me, after I kind of woke up and realized that, you know, I could wear myself down or I could slow down. So tonight, I was able to make that video. I was able to get everything set up. I still have time to just lay down and stretch out and enjoy the evening. And tomorrow morning, make sure you watch that next video, because I know that I'm going to have a beautiful sunrise that comes up over there. But I hope you enjoyed this series, and I can't wait to figure out what I want to do next. So we'll see you on the next one.